studying or thinking about taking your Project Management Professional certification or PMP, then don't worry, I got you covered. The hard truth is that 40% of professionals actually fail on their first attempt when taking this exam. As a certified project manager, I've actually passed the exam, and to say I passed it on the first try and also within 3 months. I'm actually preparing this video for those that are thinking about taking the exam because I feel as though if I had a video similar to this, then it would help me and support me in how better I could have taken the exam. In this video, we're going to actually discuss exactly what the exam structure looks like. We're going to talk about some of the things that I saw during exam day. We're going to also go over how I prepared for the exam, and then also lessons learned from taking the exam, in hopes that this supports you if you are thinking and have decided to take the PMP certification. I'm Darius, and I'm here to help you master the art of project management. So whether you're a business owner, you're a project manager, or an inspiring leader, this video is for you. Please like the video as it doesn't cost you much at all. And if you would like more content around project management, please just subscribe. I put out a video weekly, and my videos are very supportive of helping those folks either looking to grow in project management or even deeper their knowledge in project management. But with that said, and without further ado, let's jump right in. Let's face it, studying for an exam can be difficult no matter where you are in your profession, whether you're a seasoned vet or you're an aspiring leader just looking to get your foot in the door in project management. No matter what it is and where you are in life, exams can be hard. A lot of things that a lot of folks face when taking exams are exam day anxieties, or even before the exam anxieties. Also just trying to get a better understanding of the knowledge that is needed within the exam, and then also finding time to actually study. We're adults. We all have busy lives. We're all working jobs, and we're all doing things that can take us away from studying for that exam. But the truth of the matter is that we can also decide to let those barriers either hinder us or we can learn from them and move forward better together so that we can accomplish the goal of getting our PMP certification. Just as the hard truth that I mentioned earlier, where 40% of project managers or professionals fail the exam on the first try, there is a whopping 60% of those that pass on the first try. So which side of the coin do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the coin where you pass, or do you want to be on a coin where you fail? Both of these options is available to you, but it's up to you to decide. If you would like to hear more about my experience, since I have already done it, I have another video which I'll link above, so that this way you can watch that video and see my personal experience on exam day. I won't be covering my personal experience. I will just be covering things that'll help you to navigate exam day in the rest of this video. But with that said, let's start with the first area, which is the exam structure. The exam structure is very simple. You're going to have about 230 minutes to answer 180 questions. Out of those 180 questions, 5 of those are pre-test questions. So realistically speaking, you're going to be graded on 175 questions. The exam is in multiple different languages, so whatever language choice you're comfortable with, you can also do that as well. But also, you do get breaks in between the exam. So if you take it in person or if you take it virtually, you do get 2 breaks. So you get 2 10-minute breaks. The exam is going to be broken up into 60 questions per part with a total of 3 parts. So you have part 1, part 2, part 3. As you're taking the exam, just remember you can't go back and forth between the parts. So once you finish one part, you get a break. You can't answer those questions again. Just be mindful of that. So the process for actually taking the exam is that first you want to check your eligibility, right? So they offer a couple of ways where you can be eligible to take the exam with less experience. PMI offers a bunch of different options for you to be able to take the exam that will require you less experience depending upon either the education or certifications that you have. So visit their website and just take a look at what those eligibilities are. But the opportunities that you have are basically 2 categories. If you have no certification, no education, no bachelor's degree, it's going to require that you have 5 years of project management experience or 60 months. If you do have a bachelor's degree, or if you have a degree such as a CAPM, then it only will require you to have 3 years of project management experience coupled with a degree to take the exam. So once you determine your eligibility, what you then need to do is find yourself a 35-hour certified PMI course. It doesn't have to be exactly PMI, but it does have to be that project management course that is certified by them. So they have their own self-paced course, as well as they have a virtual instructor. So whichever version works for you, you should go and do that. There are cheaper options like on Udemy, where there is a cheaper option, and I'll put that information in the description below. But that option is there and is also certified and is cheaper, and you can watch those as a self-paced as well. So it's basically what you're comfortable with. How are you comfortable learning? And then figure out what that is. I would also suggest that while you're taking the 35-hour course, I would start applying to take the exam. Taking the exam requires that you put in an application. You're going to have to actually put down the projects that you worked, whether it was the 60 months or the 36 months, based on your education level. You're going to have to put that information in there, and you're going to have to go through the application process. Again, I'm going to provide a document down below, but that'll just walk you through some of the things that you need to be aware of when filling out the application, just to ensure that you do it effectively so that your application isn't denied, because you're paying money to take the exam. Make sure that you do the application process effectively. Once you completed the application, you're all set. They'll send you an exam day. They'll tell you, when and where to show up, or if you're taking it virtually, they'll walk you kind of through what you need to expect for the day. It's pretty simple. The exam, like I said, is 230 minutes, 180 questions. You have 3 parts to it. So you take it in 60 question breaks. And then on top of all of that, it is broken down in categories of people management of 42%, business management about 8%, and then processes about 50% of the exam. So just be aware of that. Take that with you as you're looking to study and get prepared to take your exam. So now that you've gotten the understanding of the structure and you're ready to get things rolling, here are some ways that you can prepare for the exam. So like I mentioned earlier, you have to take the 35-hour course, right? So again, the PMI has a virtual course, as well as they have a study by your own pace course. You can take either one to your preference. And honestly, I took the study at my own pace just because I could have done it at my own time when I was ready to get it done. But whatever works for you and your family, that's what you should do. Udemy has a course. There's other courses out there. I'm going to link the PMI and Udemy ones in the description below so that you have those, just so that you have those. But I don't think one or the other will set you up for success more over than the other. I just took the PMI one because I was just like, it's the PMI exam. It's going to be based on what they're going to teach you. I just wanted everything to be seamless. If your job pays for it, you can always ask them to help and reimburse you, or whatever that function looks like for your job. But that's what my choice was. Once again, make sure you follow the PMI guidelines in choosing the course that you're going to take. You want to make sure the course is actually eligible for you to take your PMP. Another thing that I did was I went on YouTube and found a bunch of different creators that spoke about the exam and spoke about their experience similar to what I'm doing right now, and just try my best to gather as much information as possible to get myself more aware as to what to expect on the exam. There were some really good folks that were out there, and I'm going to link those videos down below. But there was a couple of videos that I watched. One was around 200 questions of agile questions that really did help me get prepared question-wise, and he kind of did a really good job of walking through it. And then there was another one around PMBOK's process flow, which was something that I realized was really prevalent on the exam. But this guy in particular, like I said, I'll link it down below, really did a good job of highlighting, what are the processes that you should be aware of for the exam. Another thing that I did do, which I'll actually show you now, is this real cool game that is online, of course, and it is the PMP process mapping game. And this game is really much something that I did maybe like 1 or 2 times a day, just to get really comfortable with the process flows. The other thing that helped me prepare really well for the exam was PMI's 261 prep exam questions. Now, if you did not take their PMI course, then you did not have access to this for free. But if you did take it, you did. They do offer it for about $100, give or take, but this was a really good thing that helped me better myself on the exam. Once you get done with the 35-hour course, all you need to do, take the exams and practice. Split it up into 180 questions so you get good at and used to answering questions like that in the time frame you need. And then also just go through them and make sure that anytime you get an answer wrong, you document it and keep track of it. Go through it that way. It'll really help you understand the structure of their questioning. It'll really help you understand what they're looking for. And it's going to just prepare you ultimately to take the exam. Some study tips that I use when actually studying for the exam was, one, I make sure that I designated daily time to study for the exam. For me, I study from 4 to 6 in the morning. I did it about 2 hours every day. And then on the weekend, I did it for longer. Whatever works for your schedule, do that. But just make sure that you have designated time that you're going to say, no matter what happens, this is what I'm going to do to get this done. And you're going to get it done in the time frame in which you're looking for. Then my last tip that I would give is just that remember to just keep taking due diligent notes. Take notes of what you're learning, of course, while you're studying. But when you take these practice exams, make sure to highlight the ones you got wrong and highlight why you got them wrong and just take notes of that. So what I did, I opened up a spreadsheet, and any question I got wrong, I put down the answer, I put down why I got it wrong, and I put down what I needed to study. So I had a good understanding of, okay, this is why I'm getting wrong, and now I understand it. And now I can go back through it because I reviewed this a couple of nights before the exam just so that I can say, look, the ones in the areas that I'm strong in, fine, I'm strong in those. The ones that I'm weak in, let me review it and get better at it. And I'll put all this together for you so this way you can just go through it and see all the tips and tricks that I use to prepare for the exam. And then also it'll document and share with you some of the links that I'm mentioning right now. It'll be a great resource for you if you're studying for the exam, haven't already started, and you want to get a sense of what it'll feel like or what it'll look like. But I'll share that with you in the description below. Also, as we're moving forward, if you're liking this content, please just like the video and then also subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more about project management tips. If you want to take your project management to the next level, just subscribe. The like button is free for y'all. It helps me out a lot, and it also helps other people see my work so that they can now find the same information that you're looking for, and also it can help them. That's all I'm here to do. But with that said, let's jump into exam day and the lessons learned. On exam day, I already gave a little snippet about what exam day looks like. I don't know the full process for the in-person exam, but what I can tell you is the virtual exam, this is a whole different process. In the virtual exam, you're going to have to take a picture of your room. You're going to have to take a picture of your desk. You're going to have to take a picture of your surroundings. You're going to have to plug out monitors. Anything that is around your desk that looks like you can be cheating, just remove it. Because they're going to ask you to remove it, unplug it, or do some form of something to it. So that's a good head start. Then, as you get through the gauntlet of them examining your room, you're going to want to now sit down for the exam. The questions are going to be 180 questions. 175 is what you're going to be graded on. 60 questions in each different break of the exam. You're going to get 2 10-minute breaks, so take them. I would suggest that as you're taking the exam, 1, be mindful of the amount of time you have per question, and then 2, go back through the 60 questions and just make sure you answered everything effectively. As you're going through the exam, keep an eye out for questions that you're like, I don't really know, and you may have skipped. Just keep track of those as you're going so that you can go back at the end of the partition. Because after you leave that first partition or that second partition, you can't go back. They're not allowing you to go 60 questions, you go back 61, and you can go back to 60. That's not happening. So it's good to try your best to review before your break. After you get through all the exam, you're gonna have to wait so long for your results. And when I say so long, I mean 5 minutes. They're gonna literally provide you your results in 5 minutes. So that's a good thing. You're gonna get your results as soon as possible, and you'll get to know if you pass the same day. Now, how they grade it, they're not going to give you a percentage of what you got right, what you got wrong. It is like meets targets, above target, didn't meet it, well below it. That's kind of how it's broken out. And then eventually, maybe like a week or two later, they'll probably send you a full breakdown of what you did good and what areas you could have improved on, just so that you can continue to grow. But that's how the exam is going to go. You'll find out the same day whether you passed or not. Now that we have discussed exam day, here are some lessons that I learned. Number one, take the in-person meeting. I glazed over it, but you can, like I said, check my video about me and my experience taking the PMP exam. But I had a horrible experience taking a virtual exam, and that was just because of data, that was because of the internet, that was because of what they needed to do. That's why I'm giving you a whole synopsis of clear on your table and do all of that ahead of time. It took me almost an hour and a half just to finally get started on the exam. That was in its own right just painful, because I'm just sitting there staring at a computer screen and I'm already nervous and I'm already feeling the pressure of the exam. I would suggest just take it in person. Number two, the day of and the day before are not cram sessions. I know that it's very enticing to just cram all the information that you want in that particular time in your brain, but the reality is are you going to really retain it? I would suggest going through some of the notes that you took in, especially around the questions you got wrong and why. And then also I would just kind of review some light questions and do some light review. The main thing that you want to do day of and day before is get rest. This advice is quite obvious, but do spend time understanding PIM books, process maps, as well as what to do first and what to do next type of questions. And you'll see with the study questions, but you want to get that understanding really, really down pat, because majority of the questions are going to be around that or have that in some way, shape, or form. It won't be flat out, here you go, do you now do this before this? It's going to be, here's a situation, what do you do next? Here's a situation, what do you do next? And all of that will encompass what knowledge you carried through that entire process. So just remember that that is what I would focus on heavily, and continue to use that process mapping game. That process mapping game was a game changer. Another tip that I have is, this isn't the monster underneath your bed. So the scarier you make it seem is the scarier it's going to be. Don't make it be scary. We all know the monster underneath our bed, and we all know him well, and he may not be there no more. Why? Because we've gotten adults and we've realized that it's not as scary as we once thought when we were kids. It's the same for the exam. Once you sit for the exam and get it over with, you're gonna be like, oh, this wasn't as scary as I thought. I understand that statistics may scare you a little bit, but the reality is 60% of people pass, and that is just those who have either decided to do whatever it takes to pass, have passed. So choose the side of the coin that you want to be on. And the biggest advice that I would give for this exam is, before taking the exam question and before looking at the multiple choice answers, I would review the question and figure out what I think should happen next, and then find the multiple choice that aligns with what I thought should happen next. That right there would be a game changer, because the truth is the multiple choice answers are there to trip you up. And if you're not confident in your answer, you will get tripped up. So just be mindful that, just think about it first. You have the experience, that's why you're sitting for the exam. You have the knowledge because you took the 35-hour course. Trust it and make the decision before looking at the answers, and it'll help you out tremendously. But with that said, that was my final tip, and I just want to leave you with this. Remember that this is your exam, and this is how you're going to have to figure out how to get there. I can only provide you with my experience and the things that I saw, but please tweak what I gave you and make it better so that you can succeed just the same. I trust that each and every one of you that are looking to get your PMP certification will pass and obtain it, because there's millions of people that have done it before you. It is not something that is the monster underneath your bed. So get out there, study for your exam. Click the link in my description below so that this way you have all of this information in a ready sheet, ready for you to review and to study for the exam. If you like the video, please like the video. Again, it doesn't cost you much at all. Please subscribe to the channel if you want more tips and tricks around leveling up your project management skills and expertise. And also just share this video with anybody who you think this video might be helpful. If you have any questions, and I mean any questions, please drop them in the comment section below. If it's a big doozy, I might answer it as a short. And if it's something simple, I might actually respond to it in the comment section also. So just ask your questions, ask away. I'm here to help you get to the next level in project management. But with that said, let's continue to take our project management skills to the next level and continue to do this one conversation at a time. It was a pleasure and a blast talking with you guys, and I hope you have an amazing day. Thank you, and I'll catch you on the next one.